What's going on, world? My name is Eric D. Seals, and today we're focusing on cinematic mistakes I see people make when they're setting up their interviews. I'm gonna go through a list of different things that I see. If you do these, stop doing them. And all of the tips that I'm giving today are things that you can correct with the current equipment you have. First tip that I want you to look at, I have our subject flat up against the wall. That's the number one way that I know someone needs a little bit of help when they're setting up their interview. Now, he's in front of a brick wall that actually has some texture, but sometimes people will do this with a flat white wall or any color wall. Not saying that you can't ever do this, but for interviews, we do want depth. And the other thing that you'll start to notice is the lighting is really flat. The lighting isn't motivated from either direction. The lighting on his face is exactly the same as it is on the wall. And when we're looking to create an image, we want there to be different pockets of light throughout. And we also want to have the light to help tell our story. One of the things that I notice right now, because he's so close to the wall, we can see his shadow hitting the wall. Can you do me a favor and move like this a little bit? That shadow is not a good thing. It's distracting. I don't want to see his shadow. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get him off the wall and we're gonna fix this one step at a time, okay? So if you do me a favor, grab your chair and come back with me a little bit. And let's do right there. Okay. So you can already see a difference. You see that the background is a little bit more blurry. He's more in focus. And we've introduced another object in the room. We have a green door, which gives the room depth. You want it to have different layers of colors, of lighting, of texture, of patterns. All these different things make the image look better. The other thing that I did is I also moved him from the center of the frame and I put him slightly camera left. When we're doing our interviews, I believe unless your subject is talking directly to camera, they should be justified to the left or the right, depending on where your producer is. Based on the way that I have the framing for him, I would have my producer sit on the right side because that's where more of the light is coming from. And then he would be looking. So can you look right here, please? Thank you. So when he turned his head, he is looking at the producer and having a conversation, okay? Now, one of the issues that I have with this framing now is there's no motivated lighting and the lighting is flat, okay? So we're gonna introduce some things so that we can make it a little bit better. And so what I want you to do is, can you take your, let's get your chair right about here. And then I'm gonna move the camera again and we're gonna introduce some motivated lighting in this image. All right. We move back a little further and we also have introduced a new element. We have introduced a motivated lighting source. So everybody knows that that's a window. And because that's a window, that's letting us know that we want to light from that side of the room for his key light. If we put, and I'm gonna show you real quick, the light on the other side, it's not gonna look as natural. It's gonna seem a little weird and many people won't be able to put their finger on it, but they know when it's done right because it just feels natural, okay? So right now I have his key light on camera left. And the problem with that is if you look at the window, which would naturally be lighting him, it is on the other side of the frame. Most people may not know, but it just doesn't make sense. The side that's closest to the window is darker, where the other side is brighter. And the question is, why is that? It just feels off to a certain degree. And so this is something that you wanna fix. And all of it is finding what is your motivating lighting source in your frame. It might be a lamp. Obviously you'd have to change your light to tungsten, but it might be a lamp, it might be a screen, it might be a window, it might be a door. You want people to look at the frame and just naturally think that window's lighting. So now let's switch the light to the other side so you can see how it's supposed to look. All right, turn this off real quick. I'm just gonna flip this to the other side. Okay, so now the light is on the other side and you can see that the right side of his face, or camera right, is lit up brighter. It's the key side. And then the other side of his face, camera left, is the fill side. And right now I don't have any reflector or anything on that side. The other thing that I want to show you real quick is also about the height of your camera, and that makes a big difference. So I'm gonna first show you what it looks like when it's too low. So I've lowered the tripod, and something that I want you to consider every time you change anything on the tripod is making sure that it's level. It's a small detail, but it goes a long way. So if you look at this framing right now, it's not that it's wrong, but it's doing a lot of things. So one, you can tell that the camera is lower. It's about at the height of his belly button, right? But this right here, I would say that the camera is too low. The only time I would do something like this is if I'm doing an interview with probably a child and I want to make sure it's at their eye level, or if I want to make that person feel powerful, and I probably still wouldn't go this low. I'd probably be just like maybe under where their chin is. You definitely need to consider the height of the tripod and the camera when you're doing an interview with someone who might be wearing a dress. The clothing that someone is wearing needs to go into your decision of how you adjust and place the camera. Now let's show the camera when it's too high and what that does. So this is the camera when it's too high. You can look at the framing and see it's cut off at his shoulders, and that's just not gonna work. Even if I tilt down, some people might say, doesn't that work? And it doesn't still, for the reason that you're making this person look small. When you have the camera high, you're saying that this person has less authority. When you have the camera low, it gives a person more of a powerful look, and you're saying that this person is doing something else as well. Now I see the B cam being higher and lower, which that can work, and I'll show you that really quick. But essentially for the A cam, you need to be at eye level. So yeah, if you just look at this framing, this does not work. Now, I'm gonna switch it over to the B shot real quick and swap my lens and show you why for the B that this is okay. So all I've done is switch the placement of the camera. This is where the B shot would be. It essentially shows you that the rules don't apply for both cameras in this situation. For your A shot, you wanna be at eye level, but look at what we have for the B shot. This works out. This doesn't look like it's too high, and I haven't moved the height at all. It's exactly the same. I went on a little tighter lens. I'm on an 85 now, but this could be a B shot. I'm on the fill side of his face, on the left side. And if he was talking to camera doing an interview, this will look really good. So now I'm gonna show you what it looks like if we decide to go lower. So now we're at a very low setup. We're at just above his chest. And again, if this was our interview setup, this would work. It looks good. The flexibility that you have with the B cam versus the A cam is very drastic. And essentially, you want your B cam to be a little bit more creative, because the A is the standard, the neutral shot, the shot that you're probably gonna have the lower thirds on. But when he says something very emotional or very impactful or very strong quote, we want something that can match the power of what he says. These are the different things that you can change on your interview setup to make a huge difference. It's not the lenses, it's not the body, it's not having a gimbal, it's not having a drone. It's essentially having placement and having purpose for that placement. So the more that you practice and the more that you get in different situations, you're gonna come away with interviews that always look flawless.